Manchester City are reportedly close to signing Jack Grealish after mounting a bid in the region of £100 million for the England international. Hit that like button, hit that share button. Here we go. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Breaking news this morning that Jack Grealish to Manchester United is drawing closer. The reports are suggesting that this deal could be confirmed as soon as Euro 2020 is over. We want your thoughts. We want your feelings on this deal this morning. Breaking news that has just come into us here across the footballing world. A lot of people saying, please say this isn't true. Reports live from Jim White on talkSPORT. The Daily Mail are reporting this. Give Me Sport are reporting this now. But it says here that Jack Grealish's stock has gone up in the footballing world. Manchester City are knowingly keen on him and have reportedly bid £100 million this morning Man City reportedly bid £100 million this morning for the services of the England international. Talks between City and Villa are said to have progressed rapidly, and they are now agreed on a humongous deal. The fee is for £100 million for Grealish, and it will make him comfortably the British transfer record. Amazing, and amazingly, City are still keen to sign Harry Kane this summer. Both these deals could go ahead. Both these deals could go ahead. The news this morning is the deal appears to have progressed very, very quickly indeed. Do me a favor and hit that like button. Please hit that share button as well. Very, very important to the Football Terrace that you get that done. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on this breaking news today. A lot of people talk about financial fair play. City are not going to break those rules again. We don't even know if those rules exist anymore in football. So let's not worry about that as it stands right now. Look at this. Ronan says it's a madness. Melvin says it seems like the Premier League will be a two-horse race. This could be true. Terry has to be the most working guy. Listen, I work hard because I have to. It's my job. Tom says, what's the point of trying to compete? Let's not be defeatist. Let's not be defeatist here. It's not over. It looks like it's over, but it isn't quite over yet. I do want your reaction to this news. It's breaking, as we say. It's just come in, and I have to tell you this now. The people that were telling me that City weren't going to go big, the people that were telling me that Jack Grealish wouldn't move, I just knew he would for the right money. You know, Villa looking at the likes of Emil Smith-Rowe, Villa signing Buendia. It was in preparation for this. It was in preparation for this. And Jack Grealish, he's only played a little part of the Euros, but you've seen the class that he's been oozing. He is very close to being a Man City player. That is gargantuan. That is gargantuan news this morning. Let's do some more of your live comments that are coming through here. No one cares about FFP. Clubs should be allowed to overspend. Pep Fraudiola is what man like Reddy says. Tom says here, City don't mess around, do they? Straight in there doing their business. Man United's time to respond is what Twisted Bubba says. Aston Villa in the gutter. I don't necessarily. They're going to get £100 million. I don't think they're going to feel like they're in the gutter for one single second. Like legitimately, they're not going to feel like they're in the gutter. I don't see how they're going to feel like they're in the gutter. I really, really don't. I really, really don't. Everyone's going to have a difference of opinion on that, I suppose. But for me, I think they're going to feel $150 million. If they're bringing in a deal like this, there's no doubt about it. Look at the size of the deal and everything else. It's gargantuan. It's absolutely gargantuan is what it is. I'm just sharing. I've got to share some information here with somebody, so you're going to have to bear with me while I'm doing two things at once because I am the one-man band. If you'll hit that like button, maybe I'll have some help one day. Oh, I've got cap locks on as well. I'm trying to send some information to someone. But yes, let's do some more of these live comments that are coming through. Big move for City, I'm seeing. Reddy says, we are definitely need to sign Sancho, Varane and Rice in this transfer window. Otherwise, it's over. I also want to see what Chelsea's response to this is going to be. How are Chelsea going to respond? How are Chelsea going to react to one of their biggest rivals in the league signing someone of the quality, improving on their champions squad with Jack Grealish already? What does this now mean? Bernardo Silva, we know, is likely to leave and go out the door. What happens to Raheem Sterling? What happens to Riyad Mahrez? Are they available? Will this help Arsenal in their pursuit of those two stars? Lots of ramifications happening here. Football's quietens down for 2 days, and City and Man United and Arsenal with their £50 million Ben White bid go mad in the transfer market. We have a super chat that's coming here. Says United versus Arsenal days are back, but blue. That could very well be true. That could be very, very true indeed. There's no doubt about it. Now, make sure that like button is being hit this morning. I want to hear from City fans on this as well, because this deal is absolutely huge. It's massive. I'm actually excited. I'm not even a fan. I'm so intrigued to see how this is going to turn out, how this is going to pan out, what's going to happen with it. Oh, my word. Oh, my word. It's huge. It is huge. Sorry, I need to do what I'm doing here work-wise at the same time as talking to you all this morning. I really, really do. All right, that's done now. That's shared. Remy, one of our members, says, where's the report coming from? It's coming from Jim White. The Daily Mail have reported on this as well today. So there's a number of outlets that are reporting on this as it stands right now. People can question the credibility of them, but it just feels real to me. Legitimately feels real. It feels real. There's something about it that seems genuine, as far as I can tell. As far as I can tell, it feels pretty damn real. Pretty damn real indeed. Let's do some more comments here. Let's do some here. Terry, City owner and Pep got blood in their mouth as they got to taste the Champions League final. They want to win it. Of course they do. Absolutely, of course. Of course they do. Of course they want to win it. Of course they want to win it. Send this email while I'm talking to you all. I've got to send this. Apologies, people. There we go. That's pretty much done. Let me just sign it off. That's done. Hopefully they'll see that. There we go. Right. Let's go to some more of these comments that are coming through. Apologies, people. Foden left, Kane striker, Mahrez on the right, KDB and Jack Grealish. Imagine the fire. Yeah, Lang and Sweet is a City fan. How do you really feel about that? I want to know, like, deep down inside, how does that deal make you feel? The excitement must be immense. Must be immense. Terry, Sancho or Grealish? I know you love both. Look, Grealish can play left and right, but he's primarily a right-hand sided attacker. He starts the majority of his games for Dortmund there. He'll start the majority of his games for Man United there. United have needed that hole on the right-hand side field, in my opinion, since Cristiano Ronaldo left. So if I was offered the choice of the two, I would pick Jadon Sancho, because we need someone whose strongest side is the left. And I've seen a lot of Man United fans talk in the last few days about how he's really good on the left-hand side. He's really good on the left, but he's also amazing on the right. We have nobody at Man United from a creative point of view that is good on the right, let alone amazing on it. So that's why I would still pick Jadon Sancho, but that's no attack. That's no disrespect meant towards Jack Grealish at all. Sancho is better on the left, in my opinion. I think, listen, and that's a fair opinion to have. That's not getting away from Man United signing him to predominantly play on the right-hand side where he's very, very good. Man United need that right-hand side to be very good. Will there be rotation? Yes, of course there will be. You know, maybe if Ahmad Traore develops on the right-hand side and he's amazing, Sancho goes over there and it's Rashford that misses out. I don't really care. But like I've said, Jack Grealish wouldn't be my choice over Sancho, because Jack Grealish isn't as strong on the left, on the right, as he is left or central. And we need someone that regardless of where you think they're best, is amazing on the right. That's the point I'm making there, my friend. That is the point. Kane comes in straight next because Sterling and Bernardo would leave. Terry, 100 million. Terry, football was gone. Listen, my friend, people said football was gone when Trevor Francis went for £1 million. They said football was gone when Wayne Rooney cost £27 million. They said football was gone when £50 million was spent on a player. In fairness, Mbappe and Neymar cost more. It's not like this is the most expensive player ever. With more and more money being pumped into football, this was always going to happen. It shouldn't be a shock to people. It shouldn't even be a frustration to people. It's just a direction that football has gone in. Let's have a look at some more of your comments that are coming through here. Jason says exactly. It's right. Ites here says, why are you saying since Ronaldo, we had Valencia? Valencia was very good. And Nani was very good for maybe an 18-month, 2-year period in those positions. None of them were of the level of Ronaldo, anywhere close. Of course they weren't. Ronaldo's the greatest football player of all time. Sancho is levels above those two. Sancho will prove over the next 2 or 3 levels above, and we will get 5, 6, 7 years of consistency. Man United have had a continuous hole on the right-hand side of the attack, in my opinion, since Ronaldo. Valencia and Nani couldn't even nail down that position between themselves for more than a 2-year period. Nani was moved all over the place and sold. And the vast majority of Valencia's career at Man United, he was moved into a right-back position because he simply wasn't good enough. As an old-fashioned traditional winger, he was cool. But as soon as football evolved and you needed it to be an inside forward, he was nowhere near the standard that was needed. Sancho is dramatically required. There is no doubt about it. I'm going to open up the links now for you guys to call in and have your say for this breaking Jack Grealish news this morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your opinions on this. It's massive news. It truly, truly is. Massive. Maria here says, reports that Rashford is having surgery after the Euros. Yeah, I read his interview last night, and he very much spoke about how he doesn't know. The doctors are still unsure whether he needs it or not. I think he will. I think he should. I believe that a signing like Jadon Sancho can enable him to do it. It can relieve that pressure and that burden that's put upon his brilliant shoulders to have to deliver and drive Man United forward. He's run himself in the ground for the cause. I respect that tremendously. It's what professionals and it's what athletes do in the short term. In the medium to long term, let's let him have the surgery. If he misses a month or so at the start of the season, so be it. Let him get that. I think his body just getting that rest as well is going to be absolutely imperative. So big up to Rashford for pushing through the pain barrier, not risking his career, because if his injury was so severe that it was career threatening, the doctors wouldn't let him play. That's a prerequisite and a guarantee. They just would not allow it. He's at a position where they don't even know whether he actually needs surgery yet or not. Listen to and when he says, I don't know whether I need it, that isn't him making the decision as such. It's the doctors are unsure. And if doctors are unsure, who are we blaming now? Probably Ollie. Ronan says, be excited. This move will force clubs to spend. Absolutely. Absolutely, it will do that. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. Bear with me a second, people. Sharing the link now with various groups. If people want to call in and have their say, that's a random thing someone's posted on social media in one of our groups here. But there we go. Hang on a sec. There we go. I posted those links. We'll share the link for you guys to call. We've already shared the link for you guys to call in as well. To be fair, that's already been done. Let's take a look here at some of these comments that are coming in. Emil Smith-Rowe is coming to Villa. We are going to go as high as 50 mil and 100k a week. UTV. Listen, Arsenal fans, do you think Arsenal would reject 50 million for Emil? Can you imagine 50 mil for Emil Smith-Rowe? Can anybody see that happening? I want your views and I want your opinions on this morning. I want to know what your thoughts and feelings on that are. Right now, trending across social media is Grealish and Kane. Grealish and Kane. Grealish and Kane. Can you imagine? Emil Smith-Rowe to go to Villa. I would love that to happen. Can you imagine if that happened? Woo, that would be amazing. Right, first on the show to have you say about this morning, we're going to go to Jason Jordan. Jason, I think he's a Man City fan. What are you saying, bro?
Yo, Terry, how you doing?
I'm very, very well. Who do you support, my brother?
Man City. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's your thoughts on the Jack Grealish news that's broke this morning? £100 million bid, reportedly close to signing for Chelsea. Give me your thoughts.
Um, I was surprised, like 100 mil. Wow, Man City doing Man City things. So yeah, great signing, and I'm happy with him and De Bruyne. Like they're gonna finish this Premier League. It's not gonna end well this season. Yeah, but great signing, I say.
I hear you completely on that. Definitely a great signing, my friend. Thanks for calling in and having your say. Thank you very much, buddy. Let me just say this now. Jack Grealish to Man City is a game changer. Jack Grealish to Man City is going to trigger other clubs into business. But what message is this going to send? We spoke about this last night on the terrace about the Ben White and Sancho deals. Would it be good or bad for the England dressing room? And most of us concluded that it would be a good distraction for some of the players. Most of us concluded that it might send a feel-good factor into the dressing room. Oh, well done, Sancho, for your big money move. Well done, Ben White, for leveling up. Jack Grealish now. There might be a serious mood in that dressing room. Wow, look how much you've gone for. Look how your life has changed, Jack Grealish. Well done to you. So there's a positive factor. But how is Harry Kane going to be feeling this morning? Is this going to trigger Harry Kane to push for a move away? Is this going to trigger Harry Kane to say, hang on a minute, my teammates, my friends, Ben White, Sancho, Grealish are getting what they want. My club can't even find a new manager. My club is in the mud. It could be bad for the England camp in terms of distracting Harry Kane. But is this going to force the transfer request? Is this going to force the representatives of Harry Kane to now really push for that move away from Tottenham Hotspur? Man City leading the race for him, according to multiple reports. What's your thoughts and feelings on that? The Jack Grealish deal, it could be the domino. It could be the domino effect that kicks off the summer 2021 transfer window in gargantuan, in spectacular, in a mammoth, huge way. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on that, people. Smash that like and that share button, please. Next caller on the show, we're going to go to Evan Davis. Evan Davis, welcome back to the terrace. Who do you support?
Hi, mate. Well, I'm actually a Liverpool fan, but I don't know if you remember, you had me on the other day for the Wales game.
Yes, I do. What do you make on this? What do you make of this Jack Grealish news?
So it's like a 50-50. So I got to point out, Jack Grealish is brilliant, and Pep's brilliant. So it's obviously not going to go wrong, is it? But my only concern is I've never really associated Pep with flair players. I've associated him with like a system. Everyone's got their role in Pep's system, and it works to a T, and they can destroy teams 5-0, 6-0. It's brilliant. But I've never really known him to want someone who takes it into their own hands. Does that make sense? He's a little bit different to what I've seen him have. So I'm quite excited to see what he could do under him. But it could be scary or it could go wrong. I'm a little undecided on it right now, I'll be honest.
Yeah, listen, I think it was Dean that spoke to us about this on Tuesday, and he spoke very much about how is Jack Grealish right for a Jack Grealish is a flair player. Some would say luxury player at times. He's everywhere. He just left. He just right. He doesn't often stick to a subscribed position. But maybe this is Pep Guardiola looking to add something a little bit different. One thing I think that Pep Guardiola has been criticised about, especially when it comes to Europe, is it's almost, if it doesn't work, if his system doesn't work, there is very little else going on. Maybe he's looking at Jack Grealish as, okay, 80% of the time he's going to stick to my processes and my plan. But at times, maybe we just need someone that's a little bit more of a rogue, someone that's a little bit more adventurous, somebody that's a little bit more out there who can just do something different that teams have not planned for. You know, maybe there's that sort of training for, because Messi was a bit like that for him. Messi didn't, in my opinion, when I watched him at Barcelona, he wasn't like a prescribed robot in a set role that he didn't move away from. He was Lionel Messi. I'm not comparing Grealish to Messi. Messi is one of the top two greatest football players to ever grace a field. But maybe there's that train of thought in his head. He almost like he needs a maverick within that system, because at the moment, everybody's quite prescribed to their box, what they do, what they're good at, where they stay on the pitch. So maybe that's a train of thought there from Pep Guardiola. It really is. Evan, great call. Thanks for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really, really appreciate that point of view. We're going to get the Jim Gooner TV on now. Welcome back to the terrace, mate. Good show, actually. I watched the show this morning while I was prepping for mine, mate. So really good work there, brother. I want to say to you, ask you this question. First of all, Jack Grealish to Man City, how good a move is that going to be? Secondly, does this make you fearful for Emil Smith Rowe?
Yes, Terry. Finally, I'm on the show, man. Thanks for having me on. Grealish to Man City is massive. Like you said, it's going to have the domino effect, 100%. And Grealish and Foden on the same pitch, man, they're going to tear up the Premier League, no doubt. With that said, if Villa think they're going to get Emil Smith Rowe, they can 0-1-2-1, do one, bro. No chance. It's not happening. We've now come to a point where we've got a player we can build a whole squad around. And I think that's what Arteta's trying to do. So no chance. 50 mil is not happening. If we was going to get maybe 70, 80 mil, then we're looking at possible. We're looking at the possibility. At 50 mil, it's not happening. The scope, the potential that he's got, it's not going to happen for 50 mil. No chance.
What if I said to you, I'm playing devil's advocate here, the sale of Emil Smith Rowe would enable you to buy Maddison?
I don't think Arsenal are looking to do that. We're looking to build now. This is the window we're looking to build. If we're going to get rid of probably number 2 biggest asset that we've got, Saka's number 1, and Emil Smith Rowe is number 2. We can't be looking to build and get back to the top and challenge for the league or challenge for the top 4 if we're getting rid of our best players. We've done that. We've learned the lesson with Sanchez, Fabregas, Van Persie. We've made that mistake. Surely now, with what with the rumours that are flying about this summer, Maddison, the 50 mil for Ben White, the talk of monitoring Dominic Calvert-Lewin. These are all the types of moves that big clubs are making. And we've got, there's that story about the 200 mil loan from Barclays. We're looking to improve our squad. We're looking to get big and better and back to the top. If we're going to get rid of ESR, it's a massive. We're just going straight back to square one. I don't see it happening.
Listen, great points being raised there. Listen, thank you for coming on, mate, and big up. I subscribed to your channel as well the other day, so well done for yourself. The Jim Gooner TV, go check that out, people. Top man, thanks for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate it, buddy. Next on the show, Monsieur Ahmed is here, big Liverpool fan. Man City, £100 million bid for Grealish. Reportedly, £130 million bid being prepared for Harry Kane. 230, 240, 250 million pound. They're looking like they're going to invest in 2 players just in terms of transfer fees. As a Liverpool fan, how are you feeling about that?
Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a massive title race on next season, definitely, and Man City are strengthening where they need to strengthen. It does question the position of Raheem Sterling. Is he going to stay or is he going to go? But if they do keep him, Pep Guardiola's got at least 3 systems he could play in that with those 2 buyings. You got the flair, the maverick of Jack Grealish, who doesn't have to play 100 miles per hour. He can do that through ball cutting edge passes. But then if they buy Harry Kane, he's as clinical as Sergio Aguero, but has other parts of his game where he can hold the game up. So Man City are going to have quite a couple of dimensions here, Terry. And, I am slightly worried. Because obviously with Liverpool now, after buying Konate, we haven't bought anyone else. We don't look like we're going to buy anyone else, which is a bit worrying thing. But yeah, Man City, this is why they're probably creating a dynasty. They're not just resting on the players they have. They are building on that team. They want to reign this Premier League for a very long time. Harry Kane is a very good investment. Jack Grealish is a very good investment. They've got Ruben Diaz. They've got other players that could go on for season on season. And it's a worrying time for other clubs. And yeah, well, next season is going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be. It really is, and it's now the response. It's the response from Liverpool. It's the response from Man United. It's the response from Chelsea Football Club. What are they going to now do to not stop this? You can't stop the deal, but what are they going to do to offset it, to mitigate it? Like Chelsea, we spoke this morning. Our first show this morning was all about the Haaland deal. Chelsea working on getting rid of some players so they can buy him. If Kane and if just Grealish goes, I think they're going to need. I think Chelsea are going to need Haaland to try and win this league. If Kane and Grealish go, huge money is then going to need to be spent by Chelsea. And then you start looking at yourselves, Liverpool, and you've already mentioned there is this concern about what's going on, how it's working, what's who you're actually going to be able to buy, etc. And I sort of sit there and think to myself, money needs to be spent. Money by Liverpool, money by Man United now needs to be spent. And the clubs have got to react, because I heard a few people moaning the other day that Man United have spoke about closing gaps. Oh, we shouldn't be closing gaps. We should want to be challenging for titles. Well, you've got to close a gap to challenge for a title. Yeah. It's impossible to close a gap if those teams improve as well. You all need to spend big, and maybe this is the domino effect. Maybe now this triggers Man United into this push for this Rafael Varane deal quicker. Maybe Liverpool wait and say, right, what can we do in relation to a top attacker coming into the football club to bolster us, a brilliant creative midfielder to come in and take us to that next level. There has to be a response. How disappointed would you be as a Liverpool fan if come the start of the summer, Man United, Chelsea and City have all signed Sancho's and Grealish's and Varane's and Haaland's, and you've signed Konate and re-signed Danny Ings?
I'll be very disappointed, Terry. I mean, it's Liverpool owners have a redemption to do well after what they've done in the past, especially this last season, which is very well documented. We've let go Gini Wijnaldum on a free transfer, so there's a hole there, and we've got other players who are starting to age, and we need players that doesn't need to necessarily be straight into the starting line, but provide there as a very, very good, decent challenge to the starting 11 that we already have. And if we only buy Konate and we sign Danny Ings, for example, that is a very, very disappointing window, and we will have to very look hard at the owners and really say to them, you guys need to sell up or you guys need to fix up, because we can't have this year in, year out. We're just going to fall behind, and we're going to go back to the Liverpool of the 90s where we're going on a decline, or we're going to lose players, we're going to lose the manager, and we're going to go back to that Liverpool where we're not challenging for trophies anymore. And we need to fix up if we don't have a poor transfer. And so just quick thing, Terry, I really do want to see Emil Smith-Rowe to go to Villa. Just want to see the reaction of Arsenal fan. I'm not a sadistic, but it'd just be very hilarious to see them moan.
Monsur, top man. Thank you very, very much indeed. Sorry, I cut that a bit too soon. Sorry, Monsur. Thank you very much for your call. The Emil Smith-Rowe thing is interesting because I want to say this in the right way. I get why Arsenal fans dismiss it. I get why Arsenal fans don't think it's going to happen. I get why Arsenal fans are frustrated by it. But it's two bids. And a lot of people suggested, is this Villa preparing for life after Jack Grealish? Right now, that looks to be the case. I would say, if I'm a betting man, I'm 80% sure that Emil Smith-Rowe is going to stay at Arsenal. But your owners. One thing I think Arsenal fans are not factoring in, these are the owners you protested against. These are the owners you said are money hungry. These are the owners you say don't care about your club being successful. They care about the bottom line. They care about green. They care about making money. If 40, 50 million pound comes in for Emil Smith-Rowe from Aston Villa, why are the Cronkies going to say no to that? They're not worried about your outrage. They're not worried about the protests. They're not worried about you winning trophies. They only care about money. That would just, that 20% of me that thinks that could happen is because of your owners and their lack of ambition. Nothing to do with your players, your manager, what you, the fans, want. Not even anything to do with what the likes of Edu would like to achieve, but your owners. They may look at it and say, huge profit, £50 million for Emil Smith Rowe means we can maybe buy a few players here or there. It's the income we would have got for being in the Champions League. It's just that in the back of my mind because your owners are so terrible. You don't trust them. No one trusts them. Could Emil Smith Rowe be on his way out because Jack Grealish is close, according to reports, to joining Manchester City for £100 million? Give us your thoughts and your feelings, people. I'm going to go some more. I'm going to go to Bright Truth on the show next. Morning, Bright Truth. Who do you support, mate?
Yes, I'm a Manchester United fan.
Yeah, what's your reaction to Jack Grealish to Man City?
Yeah, I'm a Manchester United fan.
Yes, I know. What's your reaction to Jack Grealish to Manchester City? Listen, thank you for calling in, bro. I I don't know what to say. He didn't want to speak. He didn't want to. Man didn't want to chat. We're gonna get Carl on the show next. Carl, welcome to the terrace. You do sport, bro.
I'm a Liverpool fan. How you doing, man?
I'm good, my brother. What do you make of this news this morning? £100 million bid for Jack Grealish.
First of all, that was hilarious. For some reason, I don't rate it. It's a lot of money to me. Again, I know that's what it's worth. That's what the market dictate. But I would not pay $100 million for Jack Grealish. But hey, they got the money. They can spend it. About Haaland, I think that's a good business for Chelsea. But I'm not sure Borussia is ready to move on from Dortmund. I have a friend who's in Germany. What he's hearing is that they just like the kid and then they just want to keep him. But I don't think that's what Haaland's camp is looking at. They're looking for the big move. They think he's ready for a big move, but I think Borussia is still keen of trying to keep him for a year or two. I think they think he's worth more than 200 mil, and I think that's what they want to get for him. I think 150. That's still a bargain for Chelsea at 150 mil. That's still a good bargain for Chelsea. But I think they think he's worth around 250, around the same price as Neymar was up for. And again, yeah, you were saying you could say what you're saying.
No, but yeah, I get the Haaland deal. It's a very tough one. Man City though are looking to spend 230 million. It's quoted today on Kane and Grealish. Do you think that will trigger a response from the other teams in the Premier League?
No. Again, if we're looking at who are those owners, they don't have that kind of competitiveness. These owners are mostly looking at bottom line. Perfect example. I'm a Liverpool fan. All I'm seeing is an app. I'm not sure if you know. Have you heard of Moneyball?
Yes.
Yes. So it's the same thing. Liverpool is trying to find where are the inefficiency of the market. So case example, Konate. We will never buy Konate for 80 mil. That's what I think that's what the market says is worth 80 mil. But again, he had a clause, so we pay it, and then we pounce on that. And those are the players that we are looking to buy at Liverpool. Find the inefficiency in the market, and then pay for that. The same thing that happened with Salah. Same thing that happened with Mane. Again, the only two players in the squad that we actually pay money to get was Allison and Van Dijk. And the only reason we had to pay for them is because the error and that was a huge hole in our team, goalie and that center back and center half position. And 230 million, maybe Chelsea. Chelsea is the only team that'll probably be provoked into spending money. But Man U, Liverpool, Tottenham isn't dead. Arsenal, they have no direction. They have no compass. So
yeah.
no.
So no, I hear you on that. I hear you on that. But maybe people are looking to do it. You know, Liverpool have definitely done it in different ways before. It's a slower burner, but a different approach. My intrigue is more around Chelsea. How Chelsea respond to what Man City are doing, and Manchester United that invariably spend money. There's no doubt. Listen, Carl, thanks very much for coming on the show, mate, and having your say top man. Thank you, buddy. KJ's with us now. KJ, mad news this morning. The first story was about Haaland and his big transfer plan that's been revealed by Kevin Palmer and their pursuit for him, and then breaking £100 million bid for Jack Grealish. The reports are that it's close to being agreed and things have moved forward rapidly. Give me your thoughts.
Wow. You know what I mean? Like, this is mad. Obviously, I've always been adamant and I've always thought that the whole Villa spending has been about improving the squad with Jack Grealish in mind to evolve the team into challenging for the Europa League spots and maybe the Europa Conference League. And I also thought that Man City would never do it. I never thought they would do it. I never thought they would spend 100 million on Jack Grealish. They don't have a history of doing that. So I thought, oh, going by history states, they weren't bothered by doing that. They'll probably wait a season and get him for maybe 80 or 65 or something, or 70. Like, that's why I genuinely assumed that. If this goes through, that would be very wild. And Manchester City are literally looking to create a dynasty and trying to repeat what Manchester United did with Fergie. That's not what that says. That's what that says to me. They say, you know what, yeah, we have a way of operating, sure, but this is our opportunity now with the whole pandemic, with everyone losing money. Here's our opportunity to extend the gap even further by signing one of the best players in the Premier League and potentially also going after the best player from the Premier League in terms of Harry Kane, in terms of his goals and assists. This is very wild. Very, very wild. And I don't know how Aston Villa are going to look after this. Like, if they don't have the 100 million, cool, great, wonderful. But how are they going to spend after that? Are they going to drop 50 million on Emile Smith-Rowe? Is that really the move that they should be making? Are they going to sign multiple players, like, and do a Tottenham with the Bale money? Like this is such an intriguing move for both teams that if it happens, it's just wild. It's just very wild.
I think with Villa, you know, again, I was 50-50 on what I always felt they would sell Jack Grealish. When they signed Emmy Windy, I thought, okay, maybe not. As soon as I started looking at Emile Smith-Rowe as well, I just couldn't see how all of them fit into the same team. And it's just, as you say, there's this sort of element of £100 million in their coffers. Where do they spend it? Who do they go after? How ambitious do they feel? You know, what game time can they offer people is one thing. But from City Splash, I mean, I'm looking at social media here as we're speaking, and the most common theme I'm seeing is KDB and Grealish in the same team should be illegal. Is pretty much the thread that it's almost like everybody's copying and pasting and editing each other's tweets because they're just saying the same thing. And but I get their points. It is a scary, scary thought. It is a scary, scary proposition to think that could be them two creating for you. And if they get Harry, a lot of people are still saying that Harry Kane won't be leaving this summer. I'm again, like the point that people saying Jack Grealish wouldn't leave this summer. I'm not convinced by it. Money talks. And I really, it's very easy to say he won't be sold. And then when he doesn't leave, go, see, I told you. But you're ignoring a key fundamental that everything's for sale. Every commodity is for sale at the right price. And if City do break the bank, with all the talk that FFP is going to be relaxed to a point of almost not existing anymore, how anybody has this notion in their mind that City won't just start spending massively, Chelsea won't just start spending, like, you know, Chelsea are looking at a £500 million investment in Haaland. And if you look at the salaries, by the way, there's Harry Kane and Grealish, if they both went to Man City, are easily earning 300 grand a week on average each. You might find Kane might be 350. You might find Grealish, you say 250. They're going to be on that kind of money. So you're talking about £500,000 to £600,000 a week in their salaries, right? That don't include, not even including bonuses and not even including image rights. That a year is a further £32 million. 5-year deals, they're both going to sign minimum. That's 150 mil. You put in the 250, 30 that it's going to cost to buy them both, maybe a little bit more. You're getting towards 390 million pounds before you talk about image rights and bonuses. You're looking at, again, a £500 million investment. It's huge. I'm intrigued to the response now. Like this morning, you know, what's Roman's on his yacht somewhere. And, you know, I can just imagine him on his phone now, right? This, like we're in a, you know, you get those like those films where you got the rich man, the oligarch who's on his boat and he's instructing the world of what to do. I can just imagine Roman doing that this morning. There's a funny picture I've seen someone put out. Actually, I can't share it online because someone might take it offensively, but it's a picture from the scene at Top Boy, and it's what Ollie's making Diallo and N'Golo do to raise the money for Sancho. It's making me laugh, actually. But yeah, like it's crazy to see what's going to happen. And of course, we're close to signing Sancho. So I'm happy that we're improving our squad and we're signing a player of equal quality to those individuals. But more's needed because of the gulf that City had over everybody.
Yeah, and this gap that they're about to create is going to be even further. So that Varane deal has to get done, in my opinion, now. You know what I mean? Like before, you could be like, okay, maybe you can go sign a different centre back. Potentially, and it'll be okay. But if them man sign Grealish and they sign Harry Kane, United need to get Varane. United need to get a CDM to even challenge, and then you might have to argue they need a new manager to compete with Pep and the squad that he has. So this is a massive implications to the entire league in terms of who is going to actually stop them. It's going to be very intriguing to see how clubs respond. But yeah, man, this is very, very mad. And do you see? Just one thing I want to highlight. I know there's a process that clubs or all clubs go through to actually get a player. But you see how quick and swift Man City operate. You heard rumors of them being interested. That's it, and then boom, just like that, the trigger is switched, the trigger is pulled. And then man are like, okay, cool, now we're in the driving seat. With the Man Uniteds, with the Arsenal.
But you know what that is, though? Do you know what the biggest thing behind that is? It's the owners. So it isn't even the negotiators. It's because of the money that City have, City invariably pay for their transfers cash. And they have done in the past. So when you offer it outright and you hit the asking price, it doesn't take long to get it done. You know, if last summer Man United went, there's 100 mil cash, it would have just got done. But we tried to negotiate it down. Why do our clubs negotiate it down? Because one, we're not as rich as City in terms of cash, but equally our owners are always trying to scrimp and scrave and save money. It's getting the balance right. If someone's pushing for, if you don't agree with the valuation, it would take longer. But clearly in this situation, there's a cash to offer outright, plus City agree with the valuation, or maybe losing that Champions League final has just triggered City to say, let's just smash our records and let's go for it. But I do agree with you. I wish my club, and I'm sure Arsenal fans agree, just on occasions acted with this kind of speed. Invariably, like we did with Donny van der Beek, it was very quick, it was done, it was over. If we did that more regularly, it wouldn't be as painful. So I totally get your point on that. The bigger ramification here is, I want to make sure I word this in the right way, the cost of every other player now. Because a few weeks, everybody's price now increases. Declan Rice, they push for that price. England international. Maddison, he may not be at the Euros, but he's an England international. His price now goes. If Jack Grealish is 100 mil, then Maddison's 80. Because he's not as good, but he's very bloody good. Do you get where I'm coming from? Like every player has now become more, and that's what I mean by ramifications. Every single player is now more valuable.
And this is why I wanted the Jadon Sancho deal done, because I'm not saying this will happen because it may be too close for Dortmund to do this, but you never know. But imagine if they like see the Jack Grealish deal with a hold up. We've got a player. He's younger than Jadon Sancho's younger than him, and arguably better. We actually know we deserve 150 million. You know what I mean? Like this is what could happen, and this is why being slow on deals can be a negative, because if something like this happens and we're only in the midway through of negotiating, the prices can literally just be like, actually, no, we're changing our mind now. Hopefully that doesn't, I'm pretty sure that won't happen, and hopefully it doesn't happen. But United, Arsenal, Chelsea, all these other teams, now that this is about to happen, need to really think about who they're going to go for now, because people are going to be asking for extortionate prices if Jack Grealish goes.
Mate, 100. Well, yeah, Man United's deal is pretty much set in stone, so that won't happen. But it's, as you say, there's so many angles to this. There is this element of doing it quick like City, but then you've got that knock-on effect. You set a precedent. So City have been very good in the past of not going over that 50, 60 million pound barrier. They've broke that now. City, for every single major signing they now make of players at the top level, performing to their nth degree, and that are wanted by their clubs that City are after, they've now increased their prices by, on average, 20 to 30 million for every deal they do. The next time they want the best fullback in the country, they're not getting him for 50 million. It's 65, 70 million. And that's the opposite side to getting it done quickly. If you negotiate and drive down price, or you're strong on things, like Chelsea walked away from Hakimi because they felt it was too much, you maintain yourselves slightly better in the market. Now, you have to do that when you're anybody but Man City and probably Chelsea or PSG, because the money we haven't got as much money. And if FFP is being relaxed and more money can be pumped in by the owners, we can't compete. Even if with the Glazers running us properly, it's almost impossible to compete because they just have more money than God. But it's, as you say, mate, I'm not worried about the money. It's fair play to Man City because their owners, just like Chelsea, they care about them being the best. They care about them getting done what's right. They've just won the league. They won the League Cup. They've won 3 league titles in 4 years. They did a domestic treble. They've won everything, barring the Champions League. They lost out in a final, and their response is to potentially, they're bidding it. They're willing to spend £230 million on 2 players to improve their squad. That's gargantuan. Now, they'll raise money through sales. They'll raise money through Mahrez or Sterling and Bernardo Silva leaving. They'll recoup some of that. There's no doubt. They'll recoup 100 mil maybe in sales. They'll get half the salary minimum back from those players anyway. So they're not spent. It's not all outgoings. There will be some incomings. Yeah. It's just tremendous from City. And I agree with you on the overriding point. I just wish my club was run as well as that.
Yeah, it's funny now. You see, so it seems like everyone's trying to outdo each other or trying to now compete in the press. So you had the Haaland news, then the Grealish news, and now you got Sami Luka saying that Man United are making progress on the deal for Varane. And that's what he's just said. So I feel like that's definitely a quick, like, oh, crap. Man City are making moves. Well, what PR or what kind of press story can we put out so that the fans can feel like we're doing something?
Well, you saw yesterday, didn't you? Yesterday's is the best one. So some Man United fans, they took the bait like a fish, bruv, like a goldfish, where Man United maybe don't have the money. Or the day before yesterday, don't have the money. Dortmund don't think they got the money. 2 hours later, the next bid's been made, and we're going to come to a conclusion. A lot of United fans took it as, Dortmund called us out and we came barking like dogs. It's like, no, bruv. It's the PR from Dortmund. Dortmund want to make themselves appear the dominant one in the fight and in the argument. That's all it is. That's all it. Do you know what I mean? That's what it comes down to. It isn't about Man United. Not every time it's Man United being bad or Arsenal being bad or Tottenham being bad. Sometimes it's just the other team want to look good, and it's like you're seeing now. Man United will release news this morning because everyone wants to look like they're doing something, and it's amazing. I'll be honest with you, mate. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's brilliant. It's like a, I don't know what the word. It's like propaganda wars. I think it's brilliant. I love watching it. We're going to add Pav to the stream with us to have his say on this big Jack Grealish. I've actually been streaming now live for like 2.5 hours on separate streams, but who cares? I got stamina. Remember that, people. Pav, what are you saying, Pav?
Oh, mate. Is there any point, like, us fans renewing our, like, Sky subscriptions? Like, do I want to sit here for another year just watching City or Chelsea run away with a title? Like, the amount of money we're talking about. COVID never really happened for these clubs, did they? Like, what, City are going to go spend £200 million on 2 players? Chelsea are good. Like, they'll still do business even if they don't get Hakimi. Like, what hope is there for us fans to ever see United actually win a title again? Because we can't compete with the likes of City and Chelsea in the market anymore. Like, how can we call ourselves the biggest club in the world when we don't even have the cash to compete to buy these sort of players anymore? Like, what's the point? What's the point, man? I don't know if I could be sitting here for years just watching City run away title after title, man. How have they turned into us? How have we allowed these clubs to be us? We used to be. It's just the nonsense, man.
One word: Glazers. And this is why the Glazer out hashtag disappearing and all the energies and efforts pain me as a man. All the big voices generally have gone back to attacking Ollie. And, you know, I even saw someone say yesterday in the same sentence, Man United are not serious, plus the owners are X, Y, and Z. Who do you think Man United are? Everything that's bad about the club is the Glazers. Man United and the Glazers are not two separate entities. As in, the way we operate is how they want us or how they instruct us to operate. I've said it before, like, we've got a good team, right? We've got a very good squad potentially if we've signed these players this summer. Do we have a world-class manager? Absolutely not. That's still on the Glazers for not addressing that situation. Like, and I'm not saying Conte's the right guy, but there've been some world-class managers available in the last year or so, and we haven't gone for any of them. That's on our owners. That's on what we're doing. Maybe there's something going on behind the scenes, and we'll all look silly saying that in a few months. I'm not going to get into that debate, but we are where we are because of our owners.
Have you seen that?
See where they are with their owners, and that's why it is. However, to your point about why should we tune in? I would tune in now because if City do fail, it's ultimate banter, and you've got to tune in because it might happen. I'm not saying it will because Pep's their manager, but if they get Grealish and they don't win the league and the Champions League, it's failure. So
yeah, they have to win both, especially if you're spending that much.
I think actually, let me rephrase it. If they get Grealish and Harry Kane, if they don't win at least 3 trophies next year, it's failure. With the squad and the manager and the money, 3 trophies bare minimum, 110%, 110%. They have to because they're just superior to everyone. Again, unless if Chelsea bring in Haaland, then I change my mind on that. If Liverpool were to go and sign Mbappe, I change my mind on that, right? But if they get those 2 players and Chelsea miss out on Haaland, then they have to be winning the majority of the trophies. That's what I'll tune in for. Like, aside from watching Man United play, it'll be like, well, let's see if we can put City in the spliff. But listen, they're such a good team now, world-class manager. I feel the pain. Nothing but congratulations.
You know what?
Doing it though.
Pep Guardiola never has to leave City for another team because why would he need to ever go to another league and see if he's backed with money when he could be backed with money every single year just staying at City? Because you know them owners will give him whatever he wants. He never has to leave. When he comes to retirement, when he's like, want to retire, he'll retire. But he never has to leave City. He's got unlimited funds forever. Like, that's the worst thing about this whole situation.
He could stay here for another 15 years and keep winning. Kevin said, I need to find Kevin's comment. I don't know why that's disappeared. I hate when this thing moves. But he said, celebrating other teams' failures. Wow. Brother, that's called rivalry. If you don't, half Man United winning is my priority. Celebrating my rivals losing games, losing players, losing finals, not winning. Of course. What? I thought that was normal for football. I don't know about you guys, but my rivals not winning or messing up or having something go wrong, we celebrate that. That's the way football's always been. I mean, you literally, you could be in a stadium and like at half time, they give you, most games are not 3 o'clock anymore, but you'd be in a stadium at half time and they'll be reading the results out. I remember being at Old Trafford and it'd be like Chelsea 1, Crystal Palace 2, and everyone would cheer because your rivals are in the mud. That's normal. If you don't do that, honestly, I don't think you're for football. If you don't enjoy your rivals messing up, that's a madness for me. We're going to add Tom to the stream here. Tom, what are you saying, bro? Man City.
Honestly, I want the day Pep Guardiola leaves the Premier League is going to be second to when Sir Alex Ferguson left. I can't be bothered, man. First, it was Fergie when we had our 2008 team, and then he rocks up with one of the greatest United teams ever. Stops us. We have a chance now. Great team under Jurgen Klopp. Pep Guardiola rocks up. No, that's not happening. We're winning them all again. Can't be bothered, man. If they get Kane and Grealish, well, how do you stop that? How do you stop that Man City team? Because what they're doing is just getting all the...
I'm very sorry. David Ornstein has tweeted in the last two minutes. David Ornstein has said that Man City are preparing the bid, that Villa are determined to keep him. He's claiming no talks have taken place between the clubs. And this is where the stories come in. So, to KJ's point, what was reported earlier is everything progressed quickly. The bid's in. It's close to happening. Ornstein is now saying there's been no talks between the clubs. He says that they're likely to take place. 100 million stands a chance of getting it done. So people trust David Ornstein far more than they trust Jim White, I would say. So people are now... Do you get where I'm coming from, KJ? But what you'll find is that Cronky haters and Glazer haters like us will be drawn towards this. He got it done quickly. They advanced it quick. Where everybody else will be like, well, no, they haven't really. There's not even been talks yet. So let's see what happens with this deal, and it'll be interesting. But sorry, Tom, back over to you. Liverpool. I mean, how painful is it watching other clubs behave like, Sancho's, Haaland's, Grealish's, and you, man, are looking at signing McGinn?
Complacency. And I'm sick to death of it. Can we for once act like a big club? Just once, please. These owners bought us when we were a mid-table club, and they haven't treated us like anything more than a mid-table club. Yes, we're getting the new stadium. Yes, we've got the new training facilities, but that's not come out of their pocket. It's not something groundbreaking that they've done. It's been in the works for ages, all that stuff. So it doesn't matter about getting all these fancy new training grounds and fancy new stadium expansions if you're not doing it on the pitch, because that's the most important thing in football. And we're just so complacent when it comes to on the pitch business.
But Tom, I thought that Jurgen Klopp can turn every player into world-class players, and you don't need to spend on the superstars because Klopp is that good, and every player you get turns to flipping gold.
I would never believe that. I've always said we need stars, but signing big players, because eventually he's not going to develop players into these gems. You cannot have the track record he has without getting a dud in there. And I don't want the dud being when we could have really strengthened and pushed on. So
yep, and we've been saying this for how many years, but the Liverpool cultists just didn't want to listen. And now I see them man screaming, why haven't we signed Mbappe? I'm just like, bruv, because this is how you operate. And you've been praising it for years, and now the man are doing the same thing, and now you're upset. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Okay, as well, I said earlier on the show, if Liverpool were Man United and frustrated, why are no Liverpool fans calling out Klopp for being a yes man and not standing up against his owners? I'm actually having a pop at Klopp. I don't want Klopp to do that. I want Klopp to remain professional. But it's amazing. That's one thing I say about Liverpool fans. They drink that cool, bruv. I told you before, communist Merseyside, bruv. Like when it comes to their football club, paradise exists, and in paradise, nothing bad happens.
All you've got to do for that is go to the replies of that video he released after the Super League debacle. He got forgiven straight away. I've never seen anything like it.
It's because they want to forgive. Do you know what I mean? It's like any little excuse. Breaking news, more breaking news has just come in regarding Ben White. Arsenal fans here, Man United pulled out of the Ben White deal because they were not prepared to pay £50 million for him. Ben White, Man United are now concentrating their efforts on other centre-backs. White was understood to be very receptive to joining Manchester United and wanted to, and saw himself moving to a big Champions League club, but Manchester United pulled away. So essentially, Ben White is on his way to Arsenal. He's settling for Arsenal because Manchester United pulled out. That's the report. I'm just giving you the news. It's not my opinion. But there we go. Man United rejected Ben White is the news this morning. But gentlemen,
Arsenal fans were like trying to say that Ben White rejected us just so they can get one over us.
Well, listen, Arsenal fans believe that every player rejected every single club to sign for them. It is what it is. Let them have it.
Hey, listen, listen. I'll tell you what I'm still intrigued about. I'm still intrigued about this. Sorry, we'll do super chat first from Mario. Says, Tom, as a fellow Liverpool fan, what owners would you want to come in and do a better job? There are none out there.
There are people out there. It's just that the club isn't for sale. So the people who would buy the club aren't going to pay £3 billion for it, especially in this climate. I guarantee if Liverpool Football Club was put up for sale, you would suddenly find people who were interested in it.
Yeah, I agree. It's about having the right. You need an owner. Like the thing with FSG is they're not as bad as they're not going to take you backwards in a sense.
I make them out to be terrible. They're not terrible.
Benkies
They leave a lot to be desired.
Very, very mindful of who comes in.
They leave a lot to be desired.
I just want to gauge all your opinions on this. We'll go to KJ first. Emil Smith Rowe. I know the Gooners are saying absolutely not. If a big bid goes in for him, could you see the Kroenkes sanctioning it?
If it's 50, if I honestly believe if they offered 50 million, they'll do it. You know what those owners are like. They're money hungry, they're money grabbing, and their football knowledge is very, very low. I don't think it would happen, but you're telling me in a world where the Kroenkes exist, could a bid large enough get it done? Absolutely. 50 million, I think they snap their hand, they snap your hand off and take that and probably just use it to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? They use it to do nothing because, again, these guys aren't the best. I still believe Arsenal will go on to have a good window and get good deals. But if that offer came in for Emil Smith Rowe and that is 50 million plus, them man are taking it. They're taking it.
Listen, as I said, 80% of me is absolutely convinced he'll stay at Arsenal. But I just have this 20% in my brain that's saying, it's the Kroenkes. They only care about money. They don't care about the club. Big offer comes in, 50 mil. That's literally the income of missing out on Champions League football. They don't care about fan outrage. They don't care about protests. They're not going to sell the club. Arsenal fans are still going to buy their season tickets and shirts. It's almost this element of, like if your partner cheats on you and you kick off and break some plates, stay in a hotel for a few nights, but then within a week, you're back to cuddling up on the sofa on a Friday night. It's okay, babe. It's okay. Stroking their head. Do you know how likely they are to do it again? It rises. If every time they cheat, you take them back with no recourse, just a bit of shouting, a bit of hollering, and a few tweets. Don't tweet about your private life, people. It's very and message to all kids. Tweeting about your private life in terms of stuff like that is cringe beyond cringe. Don't do it. Please don't do it. But this is what Arsenal fans have done. Man United fans are the same. We're in the same boat as you. It's like we continue to allow our clubs to cheat on us, treat us wrong, but we keep accepting them back. So do you know what they do? They do it again and again because we're doormats. We are doormats to our football clubs.
Do you know what the best way to put that is?
100%. It's a very easy claim to say he 100% ain't going because he's highly likely to stay. But just in the back of my mind, and I think by the way I've seen Arsenal fans respond with anger, in the back of their mind, there is a slight thought that, what if it does happen though? Do you get where I'm coming from? Like, if Man United were linked with selling Rashford today, I'd laugh because I know that United are not going to do that. Emil Smith Rowe, Arsenal's owners, I don't know. Can you imagine if it?
History. They've sold that man sold Nasri. They sold Adebayor. They sold Van Persie. Them they've been selling their stars. It's what they do. Like
I get what people are saying. Emil Smith Rowe is the future. No way. And I majority of my brain says no, but one thing I can't get away from is why Villa, that we all praise, has been a well-run club, are readying a second bid. If they'd be told by his agent and by people, there's no chance. Don't waste your time. I don't get why they're still doing it, and no one can answer that for me. We've had the conspiracy theories of like, it's because Arsenal were trying to build up this big PR that he rejected everyone to stay with us and all of that. I don't know. What I would be worried about as an Arsenal fan, and Dean Jones said it on Tuesday perfectly, you should be worried that teams like Villa think they can take your players. With respect, it used to be bigger teams taking your players. Now it's Villa. Like, it's crazy. Listen, everyone who's tuned in today, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. Please hit that like button for us and share button as well. 2 streams back to back in the morning. You are lucky, lucky people. You truly, truly are. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again.